This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Michelle Chamberlain.
And I'm Bill Bryant. So good to have you on WKYT. Here we are, Thursday, March 24th.
Now at 6 o'clock, two families are frustrated at the misinformation being given about a Lexington native and her husband who are still missing after terrorist attacks in Belgium.
We'll have the latest.
Investigators are revealing ties between the terror attacks here in Brussels and in Paris. And Kenneth Craig with the latest coming up.
Also, an update on the closure of I-75 in Tennessee. We have some good news about that following that major rock slide.
Showers and thunderstorms are what we're watching as we track off into the afternoon. No doubt about it, strong storms will move on through, but maybe even some severe weather. We're in the 60s early this morning for the most part. Right around 70 degrees this afternoon, gusty winds, stormy conditions. We'll get into that forecast. I'll show you how you can plan your day coming up.
Okay, see you shortly. Thank you.
False hope is leading to frustration for the families of a Lexington native and her husband.
48 hours later now, after those deadly terror attacks in Belgium, the young couple is still missing. Stephanie and Justin Schultz were in the Brussels airport when two suicide bombers blew themselves up, killing several and injuring many others. WKYT's Mark Barber is live for us this morning at Transylvania University, where Stephanie was a graduate and attended classes. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Justin Schultz's brother says he thought the exhaustive search for the couple ended yesterday afternoon when his mother was told that the couple had been found alive. However, he says a couple hours later he learned that that information was incorrect. He says someone in the State Department had told his mother that they had been found. However, he says that misinformation only made their heart-wrenching situation more frustrating. Justin and Stephanie were waiting at the departure gate in Brussels Airport when suicide bombers detonated a couple explosives there 2 days ago. The couple has been missing ever since. Yesterday, Stephanie's coworker started searching hospitals in the city for them. Stephanie's mother was checking in at the airport when those bombs went off. She was thrown by the force of the blasts, but she survived. She has been alone in Belgium, but now her husband and Justin's mother are preparing to make the trip to Brussels to join the search.
I love you very much, and I'm on my way to see you. Just hang in there. I'll be there shortly, and I love you.
The family is still holding tightly onto hope there. They say that it is so important to have feet on the ground in Brussels because they've been making phone calls, checking to see if the couple are in any hospitals in the area. However, they say the government is not allowing any of those hospitals to release information about whether they are treating any patients. They do think that they are still alive because they say their names have not appeared on the casualty list. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Well, that is the hope we're all holding on to here.
We are all just hoping that they're alive.
Right, and we'll let you know as soon as we find out anything. And while the young couple's families hold on to that hope, there is a massive manhunt underway this morning for a third suspect in the deadly bombings.
Yeah, police are now confirming a link between Tuesday's deadly attacks in Brussels and the Paris attacks last year. Kenneth Craig continues our team coverage from Belgium.
As the hunt for the mystery man in the white jacket continues, Belgian prosecutors are learning more about the suspected ISIS terrorists connected to Tuesday's terror attacks in Brussels. Authorities believe the terror cell's bomb maker, Najim Lashrawi, pictured here on the left, and Ibrahim El-Bakrawi in the middle, both blew themselves up at the airport, while Ibrahim's younger brother Khalid detonated his explosives on the subway train. Officials say they also found DNA belonging to at least one of the suspects in Belgium on a suicide vest used in the Paris attacks last November.
Tuesday's attack here in Brussels and the events in Paris are renewing concerns about fighting ISIS in Europe.
It's much easier to get into Europe than to get into the United States, for example, because of geography. Most European Muslims are not radicalized, the vast majority are not, but they do have a higher radicalization rate.
Speaking from Argentina, President Obama once again urged the international community to come together in the terror fight.
We can and we will defeat those who threaten the safety and security not only of our own people, but of people all around the world.
According to the Associated Press, ISIS has trained at least 400 fighters to carry out waves of attacks in Europe designed to inflict maximum carnage. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Brussels.
The European nation, or union rather, is holding an emergency meeting today to discuss its response to the Brussels attacks.
If you've planned a trip to Europe but you want to cancel because of the attacks, your options may be limited. According to travel insurance comparison website Squaremouth, fear of traveling is not a covered reason to cancel a trip on standard travel insurance policies. But if you're heading to Brussels and you bought travel insurance before Tuesday, you may be eligible to cancel your trip if your policy includes terrorism coverage. Now, if you have travel insurance and your current travel is impacted because of the attacks, you may have coverage under a travel delay benefit. Now, for the latest on the Brussels attacks, keep checking. We have the latest on our newscasts and on WKYT.com, and you can also find updates on the WKYT News app.
The Republican-controlled Kentucky Senate has approved its version of a state budget. The proposal includes most of the cuts recommended by Governor Matt Bevin, but it drops millions in bonds proposed for a Lexington project. WKYT's Caitlin Sittner joins us now live from the live desk with details.
Good morning, Michelle. Budget cuts that many public institutions have been rallying against in Frankfort may just come to fruition. The Senate-approved budget includes most of Governor Matt Bevin's proposed slashes in state spending. That means public colleges and universities, state constitutional officers, and public preschool programs will be cut by 9% over the next 2 years. Republican Budget Committee Chairman Chris McDaniel said the state can't invest in its future if it doesn't address the problems it faces today. Conversely, House Democrats removed much of Bevin's budget cuts. The two sides hope to come to a compromise by next week. Another Senate budget cut will halt a Lexington project. In a 21-16 vote, the Senate nixed funding for expansion of the Lexington Convention Center. The center CEO said after the vote he'd help answer any questions the Senate had about the renovations. At the live desk, Caitlin Sittner, WKYT.
Thank you, Caitlin. Now, after weeks of waiting, part of I-75 in Tennessee will reopen this morning. The Tennessee Department of Transportation says one northbound lane will reopen at 11 a.m. in Campbell County, south of Jellicoe. The other northbound lane will still be closed while crews continue removing debris and stabilizing the hill. Crews hope to have the project finished by April 15th. The southbound lane in that area reopened a few weeks ago.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We have a wind advisory in effect now. That actually goes into effect at 8 a.m. through 7 p.m. later on this evening. You'll see winds anywhere from 20 to 40 miles per hour. And what that's doing this morning, we still have some winds this morning. At 8 a.m., you know how it doesn't work like that. It just starts cranking up at 8 a.m. So we already have some winds, and that's cranking in from the south and southwest. Check out these numbers. We're at 63 degrees in Richmond. Go into Winchester. Make your way back towards, say, Jessamine County, down towards Somerset and off toward Dunville and Bradfordsville. I mean, temperatures are in the upper 50s, lower 60s, even a 63-degree reading right now in Richmond. West Liberty, my friends, over toward the east, still looking at those temperatures right around 60 degrees. So it is a really good feel this morning, and it's also dry too. Now we get toward noontime, we'll have a few showers there by noon, and then it's really after that things start to really get going. Watch this, okay? We get into 5 to 8 p.m. That is the best opportunity on this particular graphic to actually see strong thunderstorms roll on through. We're very confident that we will see storms today. However, the confidence is still low whether we get severe weather or not. It's on the low end of things for severe weather. But if we do get some, it's an isolated severe weather threat, meaning it's not widespread. Everybody won't see it, maybe a few areas here and there. But here's the breakdown on the timing. This helps you plan your day around these thunderstorms. Watch this, okay? So strong to severe timing, not just rain. Remember, you can have rain before this timing and even a few rumbles of thunder, but the severe weather timing, if we do actually get it, it's 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. across 65 back toward the west and also our far, far west and northwestern zones. Then 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., that goes from 75 all the way north and southbound. That's 64, say, from Moorhead all the way to Frankfort area. Lexington is included. 127 is included as well as the Cumberland Parkway. That's 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. is far east and southeastern zones. So that is what we're going to be watching as we continue to track off towards your afternoon and evening hours. Bill, like I was talking about, low and severe weather risk. But all in all, this is one of those times that you just got to watch this as it passes on through. Most of it would just be some thunderstorms. Moving on by heavy rain, also some winds, strong winds as well. But if you're not seeing the rain before the sun actually sets, it's a really nice day. I mean, right
Yeah.
around 70 degrees.
And also a good thing because you don't have that energy that builds up and all that.
That's right.
All right, we'll watch that wind throughout the day. 6:10 the time this morning. Every morning right here we bring you weather and traffic together. Let's go out to Officer Don and look at what's happening on the roads. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, Bill. We just checked the circle and the inner and outer loops okay right now, and so is Man of War. Did have a problem inbound Tates Creek Road just past Alumni, two-car non-injury collision. Shouldn't be a big factor getting past it. They're going to kind of try to keep those two vehicles over to the right and out of the way. As you're going to look outside at live traffic flow, no major issues right now to deal with, and that's the great news, which takes us to our drive times. And coming in from Nicholasville this morning, it's a straight shot across the Nicholasville County. Jessamine, thank you, Deanne. Jessamine County line. From Frankfort, it's about 27 minutes. Winchester is about 21 minutes. And from Richmond, 31. Now back to you in the studio.
Who knows? She may have, flicked a rubber band at him or something out there.
Wonder what she's up to. Oh,
You never
goodness.
know, but those two are on 98.1 The Bull. When you get in your car this morning, you can tune in and listen in and figure it all out, right?
It's a fun duo. Good way to wake up.
That's right. 6:11 is the time on WKYT this morning. Good to have you along with us. A lot more news coming right up.
Has the mystery been solved? The latest on the search for a missing Boeing 777 that vanished with hundreds on board.
And also, would you believe that getting too much sleep can be bad for your heart? And we have a health alert on that and much more coming up on WKYT in about 3 minutes.
Well, Belgian and French media report a second suspect is thought to have been involved in the Brussels subway attack.
Authorities have said that they now think the suspect, Khalid El Bakwawi, carried out the subway bombing and was killed. His brother and 2 other men were seen in surveillance images at the international airport in Brussels, which also was attacked. The second suspect from the subway bombing was also caught on surveillance cameras and is thought to be alive. Tuesday's attacks killed more than 30 people and injured more than 100. A Lexington native and her husband, who were in the airport when the 2 bombs went off, are still missing.
Australian and Malaysian officials say it's highly likely that 2 pieces of debris recently discovered along the coast of Mozambique are from missing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. Australia's transport minister says an analysis shows both pieces are consistent with panels from a Malaysia Airlines Boeing 777 aircraft. Now, the plane disappeared in March 2014 with 239 people on board. President Obama continues his visit to Argentina despite criticism from Republicans for not returning home following the events in Brussels. Speaking at a news conference with Argentina's president, Obama's maintained defeating ISIS is his top priority.
Denver's International Airport is expected to be fully operational this morning. It follows a powerful spring blizzard out there. The storm stranded travelers and shut down hundreds of miles of highways in Colorado, Wyoming, and Nebraska. An airport spokesman says more than 1,300 flights were canceled yesterday. The storm system is now moving off to the northeast across the plains and into Michigan. The worst effects of the storm are expected later in the day in South Dakota. A drug investigation has led U.S. authorities to a cross-border tunnel that runs the length of 4 football fields from a restaurant in Mexicali, Mexico, to a newly built house in Calexo, California. The tunnel was the 12th completed secret passage that U.S. authorities have discovered along California's border with Mexico since 2006. Well, she kicked off her heels and ran, and now she's been busted. Federal authorities report that a JetBlue flight attendant, Marsha Reynolds, turned herself in at a New York airport. Authorities say she ditched her bag with nearly 70 pounds of cocaine during a random screening at a Los Angeles airport. She has been charged with cocaine possession with intent to distribute.
Your time now is 6:17. Hollywood is taking a stand against a proposed law in Georgia that would let individuals and businesses withhold services from same-sex couples. Now, Disney and Marvel say they'll no longer film in the state if the governor signs that bill. And the NFL has said the law could keep Atlanta from hosting the Super Bowl. Harry Potter is working its magic on Universal Studios. The Hollywood location is implementing so-called surge pricing for its new Wizarding World of Harry Potter experience that opens next month. Tickets will cost up to $20 more on busy days. TGI Fridays is getting a millennial makeover. The restaurant chain is swapping its kitschy nostalgic look for a sleek one. Fridays is testing the look at one restaurant in Corpus Christi, Texas. It also has Wi-Fi, a coffee and juice bar, and trivia night.
All right. So it sounds like they're changing with the times there.
Looks a lot different.
Yeah, 6:18 is the time this morning, and a windy Thursday is on the way. Mike is keeping us updated on weather. WKYT this morning on the air with all the latest. The season is over for the Kentucky Wildcats. Now the speculation begins about who stays and who goes. Find out what Coach Cal is saying about the NBA draft.
I've actually decided to put my name in it, too, so I'm in with all of them. Yeah, good idea, right? Tracking storms as they pass on through later on this afternoon and evening. We're going to go over the severe weather threat, if there's any at all, coming up next.
Welcome back into WKYT this morning. It is 6:22, bright and early here on your Thursday.
Yeah, and this is a story we're all hoping has a positive outcome. Yeah. 2 days later, a Lexington woman and her husband are still missing after the deadly attacks in Belgium.
The wait is just agonizing, certainly, and that's what's trending at this hour. Stephanie and Justin Schultz were in the Brussels airport when two men blew themselves up, killing many people. Families of the couple say they were given some misinformation as to their whereabouts. This morning, they are still unaccounted for.
And this just into our newsroom. Lexington police are investigating a robbery at the Circle K on Buckhorn Drive. Police are not releasing any information at this time, and we're making calls to try and figure out exactly what happened.
One northbound lane of I-75 in Tennessee, just south of the Kentucky border, will reopen at 11 o'clock this morning. The other northbound lane will still be closed while crews continue removing debris and stabilizing a hill after a major rock slide that had the entire interstate shut down for some weeks. All right, it's going to be a windy Thursday ahead and some storms later on. Here's meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, even without the storms, you're talking about winds gusty at about 20 to 40 miles per hour. We do have a wind advisory in effect that goes from 8 a.m. and all the way through 7 p.m. So winds are already gusty out ahead of our system, but when the showers and thunderstorms roll on through, that might even put the gust even higher than that 40 miles per hour. Right now we are dry, but we're watching back toward the west. Obviously, it covers a large real estate of, say, the midsection of the United States, and back toward the southeast, it'll cover a large real estate, but it's not a very potent system. It's not an outbreak type of setup. Still something to watch as we get into the afternoon. We're in the 50s and 60s right now, really good feel. And as you're taking off this morning, it's a great ride in. We're dry, temperatures right around 60, looks good, feels good, right? Then you're heading off towards, say, lunchtime, maybe a few showers in the forecast here and there, but still lunchtime is mainly dry too. It's after that the rain starts to increase. Breezy conditions, stormy conditions as you are coming home from work. It looks like, yeah, you'll have some rain out and about. Even the kids getting home from school will run into some showers, a few rumbles of thunder, but the severe weather threat actually comes, remember, it's very isolated, very small threat, but it comes mainly after the kids are already at home from school. You coming home from work is the best bet, anywhere from 5 p.m. to about 9 p.m. That is your best bet. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, we'll see you then. We thank you, and it's coming up on 6:25 now.
Bill, I don't think this is anything you and I have to worry about getting too much sleep, right, on this shift?
No, absolutely not.
It is pretty hard to get our sleep. But you know what? They're saying that there are dangers relating to get too much sleep.
All right, so maybe an encouraging sign for those who are deprived, right? But in new research, really, this is about naps. It links long naps to a condition that is bad for your heart. Researchers found people who napped 40 minutes or longer had an increased risk for metabolic syndrome. People with that condition have excess fat and increased blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol levels. The National Sleep Recommendation is the Sleep Foundation recommending 20 to 30-minute naps. So Mike is going to have to cut his back a little bit.
I was just going to say, we all need to do a sleep study, but never mind, I think Micah should do it.
Right.
We'll have the video of him taking his naps. Anyway, NASA has released a never-before-seen video of an exploding star.
To be fair, what was actually caught on camera was this: optical wavelength information about the imploding star's flash and shock wave billions of light years away, captured by the Kepler telescope. But NASA, knowing how short our attention spans are, did us the favor of translating the boring diagram into this sweet animated explosion. So there you go. That's what it would be like. Because if you were actually looking into space that far, you'd be looking at something that happened years and years ago, right? That's pretty clear. Yeah. 6:26 the time on WKYT this morning. Up and at it here on your Thursday. Good to have you along. A lot more news. Our top stories on the way.
When WKYT this morning returns, a Danville police officer involved in an off-duty crash has now resigned. What we've learned about the investigation coming up at 6:30.
Tomorrow night's Mega Millions jackpot is $35 million, and Saturday night's Powerball jackpot is $101 million. Kentucky mornings start right here on WKYT.